Welcome back to the deep dive. Our mission here is to take stacks of source material, all the research, the articles, proprietary data, and, turn it into actionable, synthesized knowledge, specifically for you.
That's right.
And today, we are focusing on one of the most high-stakes, high-value destinations in the Asia-Pacific region for corporate teams on short assignments, Bangkok, Thailand.
Exactly.
Yep.
When executive teams or, specialized talent need to be deployed to Southeast Asia for anything from 3 to 12 months, Bangkok isn't just a convenient choice,
Yeah.
it's a strategic one.
Right.
We've looked through the operational reports, the relocation guides, and our goal is to give you that insider perspective, not just what the city offers, but the practical, sometimes complicated logistics you have to master.
To make sure that deployment is successful from day one, we're going beyond the travel brochure here. We're going to cover the must-knows from securing the right corporate housing, because finding a comfortable base is absolutely non-negotiable, to mastering the financial landscape, navigating transport, and crucially, tackling those administrative hurdles like visas and leases.
So if you are managing a regional transition, or maybe if you're the one packing your bags, we are going to connect the dots between Bangkok's position as an economic powerhouse and the concrete practical steps you need to get established.
It's all about minimizing the friction of that transition.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with Bangkok's economic engine. It's so easy for people to just dismiss Bangkok as a tourism magnet, but the sources we looked at underscore that this city is the undisputed commercial heavyweight of the country.
And a major anchor for the entire region. It truly is. The concentration of economic activity here is, well, it's startling. Studies show Bangkok's metropolitan economic output is dramatically larger than the rest of Thailand combined.
Wow.
It's the central engine for trade, investment, all the high-value services.
So if Bangkok is that central meeting point, what are the major sectors that demand this kind of specialized, short-term corporate talent?
Well, the economy's resilience comes from its diversity, which is critical for these assignments. You're talking about massive industrial bases, like automotive and electronics manufacturing.
Which would require high-level engineering or consulting.
Exactly. But then those are layered over sophisticated finance, robust real estate development, and of course, the massive logistics and transportation hubs.
And the government is actively pushing this forward, aren't they? I saw a mention of strategic growth initiatives.
Precisely. You have to look at things like the Thailand 4.0 model. The whole focus is shifting the economy toward innovation, high technology, and specialized services.
So that creates a sustained demand.
A sustained demand for expertise in, say, smart electronics, digital tech, high-value medical services. Companies are deploying teams to Bangkok specifically for these future-focused projects.
That attraction of global talent and investment is clearly intentional then. It's not just the market size, but the whole environment that supports it.
That environment is key. Bangkok consistently ranks highly for its ability to attract both people and capital. Things like ease of doing business, the education level of the workforce, information access.
It's a compelling combination.
It is. You get the economic muscle and the infrastructure you need to support complex regional operations. And what's fascinating here is how that diversity creates sustained opportunities, especially for firms needing specialized skills on a flexible short-term basis.
So a company doesn't have to commit to a massive permanent structure.
Not at all. They can deploy a high-value team for 6 months, leverage the local infrastructure, and bridge specific project gaps.
Which brings us immediately to the logistics of deployment. Once the decision to use Bangkok is made, the single most important factor for success is settling the team, and that means housing.
Absolutely.
So let's transition to navigating corporate relocation housing, moving beyond just a hotel room to establishing a real stable, functional base.
And when we talk about short-term corporate assignments, that sweet spot between 3 months and a year, the housing options almost always boil down to a trade-off between convenience and cost.
Okay.
We're pretty much focused on 2 main paths, service departments versus high-end condominiums.
So what makes service departments the sort of default solution for so many corporate planners?
They prioritize immediate productivity. I mean, they're designed for extended stays, they're fully furnished, they often include utilities, housekeeping, security. It's a blend of home comfort, like having a kitchenette, with hotel convenience.
So the business traveler can just unpack and start working immediately.
Right, without the logistical headache of setting up a new life.
Yeah.
And this is where companies that specialize in extended stay solutions, like MoveAndStay.com, who have been doing this for over 25 years in the region, they become invaluable partners. because they get these corporate needs.
That efficiency is vital. If you're on a 4-month project, you can't afford to spend 30 days handling deposits and utility hookups.
You just can't. Now, the alternative is a condominium. A condo offers a more residential feel, maybe better access to long-term amenities like premium pools or gyms.
But there's a catch.
There's a catch. They almost always require a formal lease, often for 12 months, and then you have to manage utilities, maintenance, and internet all by yourself.
Okay, let's talk about location. Proximity to work, transit, amenities. That really dictates your quality of life, doesn't it? Where are high-value expats settling?
The residential pattern is highly dependent on the transit network. The BTS SkyTrain and the MRT subway are the lifelines of the city. The most desirable locations just hug those lines.
And Sukhumvit is always the name that comes up.
It's the perennial favorite because it runs right through the center of the city.
But even within Sukhumvit, there must be differences between, say, Thong Lor and Salem.
A huge difference. Thonglor and Ekamai are seen as trendier, more residential, great for lifestyle high-end dining boutique cafes, but they are pricier.
And if your assignment is more finance-focused,
Then Sathorn and Salem are better options. They're the traditional business districts, close to the CBD, close to the MRT subway. It's a much more professional vibe.
what about for families?
For anyone relocating with family, the priority just shifts completely. It becomes about 2 or 3 bedroom units near key international schools, which really drives up demand in those specific areas.
Okay, before we move on, we have to talk about the paperwork. If you opt for a condo lease, what are the real administrative hurdles?
This is where you have to be cautious. The standard rental structure is demanding. You're usually required to pay a hefty security deposit, typically 2 to 3 months' rent, plus the first month's rent up front.
So that initial cash outlay is substantial.
Very. And furthermore, this is a critical detail. Leases were often initially presented in Thai.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And while reputable corporate relocation firms will ensure a bilingual translation, relying on, an online tool is a massive risk. You need professional help to review the terms, especially on things like early termination clauses.
You've highlighted a pretty substantial initial cost and complexity there. So given that high upfront barrier, where does the real value start to show up on the balance sheet?
That's the perfect transition. Because the real strategic advantage for both the company and the employee, it shows up immediately in the operational cost and the quality of life.
Right.
Compared to high-cost regional competitors like, say, Hong Kong or Singapore, Bangkok is just demonstrably more affordable.
We're talking about a difference that significantly alters the compensation conversation. It results in a lot more disposable income for the expat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We analyze the comparative costs, and the figures they're compelling. A high-end one-bedroom condo in a prime spot in Bangkok might cost you $1,000 a month.
And in Singapore?
A comparable, professionally managed place in a core area of Singapore, you might be starting at $3,000, $3,500 minimum.
Let's break down the daily financial logistics, because that's what really differentiates it. Beyond rent, what does an expat budget even look like?
This is where the savings really add up. Groceries, assuming a mix of local and imported goods, might run you $200 to $400 a month.
That's a huge contrast with high-tax import hubs.
Huge. And transportation, thanks to the public transit, is incredibly cheap. Maybe $30 to $60 a month for your daily commuting passes.
How should someone on a short assignment handle banking? Can you just get by on international credit cards?
You can, but the fees will eat into your savings fast. For any assignment over 3 months, opening a local, non-resident bank account is highly recommended. It just smooths out everything. Rent payments, utility bills, salary deposits.
I mean, what do you need for that?
Typically your passport, your work permit, and a proof of address. The process is straightforward, but you need to set aside time for it right when you arrive. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the cost difference doesn't just save the company money. It enhances the employee's entire experience. The lower cost of living means premium services, like eating out, wellness, weekend travel, are suddenly far more accessible than in many Western cities. That translates directly to a better work-life balance.
Okay, moving on to the practicalities of daily maintenance, health, and getting around. Let's start with the health system.
Bangkok's healthcare system is generally excellent, particularly the private facilities. The crucial distinction for expats is between public and private.
And the private hospitals.
Private hospitals like Bumranggrad or Bangkok Hospital are world-class, staff are English-speaking, and the quality of care is just Superb.
What should a new arrival prepare for financially in one of those facilities?
You must be financially prepared. Even with great corporate insurance, private hospitals often require a substantial deposit or upfront payment before they even begin services.
So what's the practical advice there?
Always carry your detailed insurance documents, a copy of your work permit, and a separate credit card or cash just for medical contingencies. And of course, discuss necessary vaccinations like for dengue fever with a doctor before you arrive. For emergencies, the number to know is ELN 154.
Okay. Now, transportation. Bangkok traffic is legendary, but the city has fought back with fantastic public transit.
It has. The rail networks are your primary method of navigation if you want to maintain your sanity and punctuality. The BTS SkyTrain and the MRT subway are efficient, fast, constantly expanding.
And there's a card for that, right?
Yep. Get the reusable rabbit card for the BTS. It simplifies ticketing immensely.
What about those essential off-rail trips? Taxis.
Tuk-tuks.
Taxis are everywhere, but you have to follow the golden rule. Always insist the driver uses the meter. If they refuse, just get out and hail another one. It's that simple.
And ride-hailing apps. Ride-hailing apps, especially Grab, are extremely reliable. They lock in the price before you start, which is great. Tuk-tuks are fantastic for short, tourist-friendly trips, but you absolutely have to negotiate the price before you sit down. And a quick logistical note on utilities. Unlike many places, they are almost never included in rent. Electricity, water, internet are all separate. And the big one you need to budget for is air conditioning.
Right, the hot season.
In the hot season, heavy AC use can cause your electricity bill to spike dramatically. So just factor that volatility into your monthly budget.
We've covered housing, budget, and daily life. The final critical piece of this puzzle has to be the paperwork, that visa and work permit hurdle.
This cannot be stressed enough. The administrative process requires patience and an early start. For corporate assignments that involve employment, you're going to need a non-immigrant B visa, just for entry.
Which is then tied to the work permit once you arrive.
Exactly, and that's required.
And who drives that process? The employee.
No, the sponsoring company is the primary driver. They have to submit a ton of documentation to the Thai government. Evidence of corporate registration, minimum capital, the business need for the role. It's extensive.
How long does all that take?
The entire process, from the first application to getting the permit in hand, can take several weeks, sometimes months. Corporate teams should begin this process at the same time as the housing search, well in advance of arrival.
Arriving without proper documentation sounds like a nightmare.
It could invalidate your insurance and cause significant border issues. You just don't want to risk it.
Beyond the official documents, let's talk about key cultural insights, the things you need to know to show respect and have smooth professional interactions.
Understanding basic customs shows deep respect, and it just facilitates business. The way greeting, that slight bow with hands pressed together, is a common initial greeting and thank you.
And there are other social nuances too.
Yes. For example, maintaining your composure, avoiding public displays of frustration or anger, what's known as losing face, is paramount in both professional and social settings. Also, always dress modestly when you're visiting temples. That means covering your shoulders and knees. And we have to underscore the profound reverence for the king and the royal family.
That's a really important one.
Public discussion or disrespect related to the monarchy is taken extremely seriously. It should be avoided at all costs. But, simple things like learning Sawasdi for hello and Kapkun for thank you go an incredibly long way.
And finally, building a network in a new city. That can be the difference between feeling isolated and settling in quickly, can it?
Definitely. Don't try to figure everything out in isolation. The expats who really thrive are the ones who immediately connect with local professional and social groups. Online forums, social media groups. They can provide invaluable recommendations on everything.
From trusted doctors to reliable service providers.
Exactly. That localized support just accelerates the whole integration timeline exponentially.
So, to synthesize our deep dive, Bangkok offers this unique, compelling equation. It's a strategically vital, dynamic economic powerhouse that is simultaneously able to offer high-value employees a really high quality of life with remarkable affordability.
Especially when you compare it to its key regional competitors. It makes complete strategic sense for businesses seeking regional access and talent deployment. The practical infrastructure is there, and the resulting financial gain for the employee transforms the assignment.
It goes from being a grueling necessity to
a sought-after professional opportunity.
It certainly seems like a winning combination for both the corporation and the employee. Which leaves us with this final provocative thought for you to consider. Given that short assignments are often focused solely on achieving strict project milestones and specific output targets, how much does the resulting high disposable income and relaxed lifestyle inherent in Bangkok actually contribute to the success and long-term retention of those high-value employees, compared to similar assignments in much costlier, higher-stress financial capitals? Does the lifestyle advantage directly translate into better corporate outcomes and commitment? That's definitely something worth analyzing.